Hey fam, prayers up that everyone is just doing as well as you possibly can. And, like so many of you, I can't help but have my thoughts and heart and prayers for everything that's happening in California. Um, Above all, I think that I'm feeling a lot of compassion for all the loss of life, livelihood, hurts, um, the absolute destabilization of the area, the trauma that I cannot even imagine so many people have lived through and are still living through. But outside of compassion, um, I'm also just feeling very angry about it. I feel like a lot of it could have been avoided, or at the very least could have been eased. I'm not doing this video to get into my real thoughts about the fire and what's going on over there, but maybe you could imagine by the tone of my voice as to where I would lean. But I'm also, as a New Yorker, as someone that's been present and witnessing what has been happening all over this world for the last several years, you know, there's been a lot of unprecedented things that we have all either lived through or witnessed that just magically keep happening. Did we enter the unprecedented era of just things that just spin out of control, out of no particular pattern or anything that makes sense, like COVID, like so many weather-inspired anomalies worldwide, like what's happening in California, like what happened down in the South with the hurricane. And I can't help but think and wonder, how prepared is my city? And I don't know about you all, but as we're seeing more information come out of California, as we continue to live days where we have all witnessed so many horrible things happen, things that could have been handled differently, perhaps even could have been avoided or eased, I'm wondering, how prepared is my city? Because when I look at the world and all of these interesting emergency apocalyptic situations that keep occurring, I wonder, well, is New York going to be next? Is New York in line? And God forbid, if so, how prepared are we here? I would like to know how the mayor of the city or the governor of the city or any of the elected officials could answer that. I mean, for example, when we look at our NYPD's budget as compared to the whole budget of the state, I think it's pretty small. I mean, God forbid we all of a sudden needed all hands on deck with the NYPD. Would it even be effective? How's the FDNY's budget? How are their supplies? You know, their equipment, the manpower. How are our emergency plans in the city? How are they? Have they been updated? You know, I can't help but just wonder, how prepared are we to handle, God forbid, a huge scale event that would be as consuming and as intense as we're seeing in California? And how heartbreaking and infuriating it is to see them have to endure things that should have been avoided. What do you think, mi gente? Are you wondering, asking the same questions as well, wherever you are, wherever you live, town, state, city, country? Because we got to start also asking the big questions. We know that so many of the recent in the recent years, policies that have come into place have not necessarily been effective. I mean, certainly when I look around this city in New York, a lot of the destabilization that we're living through have resulted, are consequences of a lot of woke policies. And we seem to also see that as a pattern all over this country. I'm not trying to go in depth with those things either. I'm just asking wondering generally, asking the questions to my city, to the people of my city, and especially to the elected officials in this city. Are you all pausing to ask these questions? Because I certainly am. What about you, mi gente? Let me know where your head is.